Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for the month. This is the mid-month reading for July 2021. Sorry, I just need to give that like one more good shuffle there, Gemini. And then we are going to jump right in here and see what is coming in for you at this time. Gemini, it's really funny because I think I titled one of your last readings Abundance, and there you go. You have the Abundance card coming up for you here, but Gemini, make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to watch your sun, moon, rising. Did I just say that? I don't know. I feel like I'm repeating myself. But I was going to say, make sure to only follow the social media accounts linked down in the description below. There are a lot of people scamming nowadays, so I will never ask you for money. I will never offer personal readings. Make sure if someone claiming to be me asks for any of those things that you report them. But Gemini, you have the abundance card here, so I do feel there could be a lot of abundance coming in for you. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was you, where I titled your reading like abundance or something like that from like last week or whatever that was. So I do feel there is a lot of abundance coming in for you. Let's see where. Yeah, you have this forgiveness card as well. I do feel like some of you could be forgiving a person from the past, but you're probably doing it because you're opening up to new love. Sometimes I do think it is easier to like forgive a past person when we have like someone new in our lives. So some of you, it's almost like you're being asked to do that by the universe, but you know, whatever. I feel like for some of you, you could be forgiving yourself as well. Ace of Swords can be like an inner truth here. So, and you have the Queen of Swords, which is like you. And I feel like you're kind of like forgiving yourself for something that you feel kind of maybe has been keeping you stuck with the devil energy, which we're going to talk about in just a second. This is a good thing. It's going to lead to a lot of abundance. I love how this reading is set up here, Gemini. I like the direction in general. I like what you're doing here. So definitely a lot of good stuff. You have the Devil, the Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Swords here. So for some of you, I feel that you're kind of leaving this stuck energy behind. I like this right here, Devil, King of Cups, King of Swords. To me, this could be you leaving someone from the past who maybe you have felt bound to in a certain way. And it's like you're moving towards a person who's very like wise, someone who has a lot of wisdom. Could be someone older than you. Not always true, Gemini. As I say, the King of Swords can just be a very mature person that you're moving towards. Could be exactly the same age. Divine counterparts here. King and Queen of Swords. To me, the reading is almost saying that there could be someone mentally that you're very like there's a very strong mental attraction here, but I also feel like there's a strong love attraction here. Queen of Swords, it's like she has her back to the past. Her back is this way. She is opening up to this King of Cups energy here. So it's almost like you're opening up to a new person, Page of Pentacles. And I really like this as well for you here. I would say, like, if you have a new person coming in, there might be some issues with communication. For some of you, I feel like you're already dealing with this person, by the way. Gemini, you could be dealing with a new person. I feel like this person, maybe they are not, like, the best texter in the world or something like that. I don't know. It's popping into my head. I have to say it. What I would say here is, like, don't allow that to be the thing that ruins something that could be very good for you, right? Just maybe communicate with the person and say, like, hey, like, what's the deal? Right? I feel like maybe they're just bad at texting, plain and simple, right? And you know what? Maybe that's not a big deal, right? Maybe being with a person who's terrible at texting, I can think of a lot of things that are a lot worse than that. And if you understand that they're bad at texting, guess what that means? That probably means they're not texting other people, right? So, you know, probably not the worst thing in the world, but I would just say, like, open up and communicate. I just get stuck communication here. Ace of Swords, King of Cups, Eight of Swords, stuck communication, right, with a person. But I feel like it could easily be opened up, plain and simple. And I feel like it will, like, over time. For a lot of you, I feel like you're kind of like conquering some sort of inner demon here as well with the Devil, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords. It's like you're kind of like conquering something that has maybe you feel has been keeping you stuck. Let's see what that is here, Gemini, and let's see where this is going. You have the Three of Swords here, heartbreak. You know, Three of Swords is temporary heartbreak. Ace of Pentacles here. And the Death card, major transformation. You know, in a lot of ways, this is like an inner transformation that you're going through. I feel for some of you, you could be identifying some sort of behavior or something that you don't like about yourself, and you could just be healing it. Nothing wrong with that, right? Three of Swords is like a little bit of sadness, but, you know, whatever. It wouldn't really surprise me if this had to do with health either, Gemini. I do feel for some of you that you could be like working on your health, or you could be working on, certain things that are like kind of like affect your health as well. With that devil in the Three of Swords, devil can be an addiction, but again, it doesn't have to be like an addiction, right? It could just be maybe you eat too much smart food popcorn, like I do, right, or something like that. Maybe you're just deciding I'm cutting this out of my life. And so that's what you could be doing here. Maybe you're sad because of that. Maybe you love smart food popcorn, right? Like I do. I'm thinking about it right now. My mouth is watering at this very minute. But maybe it needs to die, right? Maybe you need to undergo the transformation. So I feel that for some of you. This is looking good right here, love-wise. I feel there is a very solid offer coming in for you. Could be a water sign, could be any sign, general reading, but I feel this could be something very solid. You have this time for a nap card. I do feel like some of you, it probably is time for a nap. Maybe you need to take a nap. I feel this is more talking about health. I keep getting health. Again, I am not a doctor. People always ask me to do health readings. I really can't do health readings because of YouTube's, guidelines, basically. And again, I'm not a doctor either. So, do not take this as medical advice. But what I would say here is, I feel like if you're feeling tired, if you feel like you need to take a rest, take a rest. If you feel like you need to get sleep, get some sleep, right? Do all those things. That's what I feel like this is saying. So, it's really asking you to take care of yourself at this time. You have the Four Cups, the King of Cups, and the Nine of Wands here. Again, I do get a little bit of this, like, slow energy here for some of you for whatever reason with a person, with the King of Cups. Again, I feel like this could be a person who's bad texter. It keeps popping into my head. Or maybe they're just not, maybe they just don't know how to communicate properly. But again, as I always say, this is something that can be fixed with communication. If you tell them, like, I feel like if you go to this person and you say, like, hey, what's the deal? I'm like, I text you, you don't text back, or you don't text me in the morning, I feel like they'd be like, oh, sorry, it'd just be like, not a big deal. So if you're dealing with a new person, don't be afraid to communicate is what I would say here. For others, I almost see this as a person that you have been dealing with here, Gemini, like I said earlier. So if you're currently in a relationship or dealing with a relationship or in a situationship, whatever, I feel like this is a person you're dealing with here. There's some sort of difference of opinion that is going on between the two of you. I can see it very clearly, like in my head, the difference. Well, I can't. I just see that there's a difference of opinion here between the two of you. It's like you have two different lives, almost. So some of you could be dealing with a person where it's like your lives are very different. And maybe you even come from very different backgrounds, or you live in very different places. It could be long distance as well. It's like there needs to be some sort of agreement, or things need to come together. Let's figure this out. You have the King of Cups, same person here. Okay. Let's see. Three of Cups, celebration, good card. And the Star card as well. Yeah, in a lot of ways, I feel if you're dealing with a person here, where again, there's this difference in opinion, I feel like if you both kind of smash your brains together, then you could actually probably come up with a good solution for how to get this relationship working, here in this, with this reading. I always tell people, if you're with like a good person, people always ask me, like, I'm with a good person, but I don't like X, Y, and Z. Should I leave them? I'm like, if they're a good person, and you think it's a good relationship, then I would try to make it work. I mean, I don't know if any of you have been out there dating recently, but it's like not fun. It's a goddamn bloodbath out there, right? So if you have someone who's decent, who's a good person, it's like, why not try to work on it and keep the romance alive? I feel like that's what people need to realize. It's like there's different stages of love. It's like you're not always gonna feel that like initial love feeling that you felt in the beginning. It's like that's something that has to be worked on. I always say, like I always preach, you have to keep the romance alive. Right? It's like, because that shit fades quickly, right? And so what I would say here is if you're with a good person, it might be worth, again, I'm not telling you what to do here either, Gemini. You have full free will, do what you want, but again, take it from people who are dating, right? It is a bloodbath out there. I would say, like, I would not want to be dating at this time, right? So, what I would say to you is if you have someone, it might be worth putting in the effort, might be worth, communicating with the person, because it's like both people are working together here. A lot of people read Three Cups as a third party. I do not. To me, Three Cups does not represent a third party, never has represented one. I don't know where that comes from. I feel like it's one of those cards where like one reader said it once and now all the readers say it. And I'm not calling anyone out here either, but to me, it's not a third party. To me, it's a card of working together. It's a card of community. It's a card of celebrations as well. So I feel for some of you, it's like, to me, it's really just saying that you could be working together with a person. For those of you who don't have love, I would say this is very positive. I feel like there could be a person coming in for you where you work together with this person. Plain and simple, right? How lovely is that? I feel that resting is going to be a very good idea for you as well. I'm kind of getting a weird word popping into my head here as well. With the Nine of Wands and the Star, I'm getting like active resting, which is kind of weird, but I kind of understand what that is saying as well. I feel like for some of you, it's like maybe you feel like you're not being productive, but maybe you actually are doing something. Like maybe you're not really like working or doing things that you should be doing, but maybe you're reading or maybe you're, gathering information or something like that. So I kind of look at this as, for some reason, I feel like if this message is for you, it's going to make sense. I'm kind of getting this like active resting energy where it's like maybe you're not like actively doing something, but I feel like you are at the same time. It's like maybe you're meditating, maybe you're channeling a bunch of information that you need, right? So I would say don't sometimes I think we can like criticize ourselves too harshly for, taking time to do that. And what I would say here is don't be too critical on yourself. Like maybe you need this time. Maybe you need this resting time to gather information is what I would say to you. So I kind of like that. I'm getting something about travel here as well. So some of you could be traveling, but it's kind of weird because the words I'm getting here are travel, awakening are popping into my head. That type of message to me, Gemini, says that for some of you, I feel like you are traveling or you have already traveled somewhere. And I feel like the travel awakening message is like you went somewhere and you had an awakening, but it's like maybe you traveled somewhere and you're like, I'm going to move here. I kind of get that feeling for you here, Gemini, where it's like you could have traveled somewhere far away or farther away and it made you realize that you want to live there, wherever it is. I don't know. I feel like that's for one of you out there and I feel like it would be a good thing. I feel like it's going to lead to a lot of growth and abundance here with the Ace of Wands. This is one of those things where if you're thinking about making a move in your life, I feel like it's going to lead to a lot of growth, actually, with this Ace of Wands. Very interesting. I feel like for some of you, again, what I always say is it's like I always give the example of, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, I moved to Seattle and like I thought I was going to change all these things, but like nothing in my life really changed, right? It was like basically the same. But for you, I actually feel like if you are making a change or making a move, there are going to be significant changes. I feel like maybe it'll make you more motivated. Maybe it'll make you more like want to get up and go in the morning, wanting to get moving and all this other stuff. So I do feel that a change of scenery would be very good for you. You're like the second sign that has had a very similar message. I do feel like, again, if you're feeling stuck, Eight of Swords, in any area of your life, I feel like moving things around. I feel like I said this to you recently as well. But yeah, I really feel like moving things around or changing your scenery would be a good idea with that Eight of Swords. You have the Eight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, and the King of Swords here. Eight of Swords is being too close to a problem. So if you're having a hard time progressing in any area of your life, the Eight of Swords just says you're only looking at things one way. It's kind of like needing to put yourself in hangman mode, which is kind of like what this row is saying. It's like saying you could be actively resting, hangman mode, waiting for enlightenment, right? I actually don't think that's a bad thing. I don't like the Hangman, personally, because it's too slow of an energy, but I actually feel the Hangman would be a good card for you to get in this reading, just based off of this middle row here, Gemini, because I feel like that's exactly what you need. Again, you have the Eight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, King of Swords here. Definitely communication coming in from a person. I feel for some of you, this could be like an expert who shows you another way of doing things. Ace of Wands is a new beginning, and I feel like the King of Swords is like information that you need. I always say the King of Swords to me is like the best mentor in the tarot, and I feel there could be a person that has very solid information for you that sets you free. And I feel like you need to like tap into that information with the King of Swords, So for some of you, this could literally be a person that you look up to. Gender doesn't matter. I don't attach gender to my card, so it could be any gender that's coming in for you here with the King of Swords. But I feel in the Page of Pentacles is the card of studiousness. So really, in any area of your life where you're feeling like there is no way out, I feel like there is a way. So let's see where this is going here, Gemini. Chariot, victory. Chariot is like allowing the universe to take the reins, allowing the universe to guide you. It's also a card of a victory as well. You have the Seven of Pentacles, change in direction. And you have the Moon here as well. Yeah, I would say if you're confused, then I feel that someone maybe has some answers for you, Gemini. Someone can help you greatly. So I would be looking for answers if I were you. I do feel like there's like a victory coming in for you here with the Chariot. Seven of Pentacles, changing direction. So again, like it's funny that all of a sudden in this middle row, all of a sudden I got that moving message, and then you have the Chariot, right? So the Chariot could literally say a move could be the thing that changes things. Really, the first clue that I got here was the King of Cups. I read tarot differently than most people. Obviously, I have certain cards that I call clue cards, and the King of Cups is one of my clue cards for the home. To me, I call the King of Cups the home. And especially if he shows up twice in a reading like this, to me, it could represent some sort of change in the home. And usually that's a clue that some sort of change in your life, like a change of scenery, will be the thing that leads to a very positive new beginning with the Ace of Wands. So I feel for a lot of you, it's kind of like there's some sort of change or there's a new beginning coming in for you. I feel like there's a lot of growth and abundance coming in for you as well. Chariot is a big victory. But it's like, to me, I almost feel like this is like a victory that you didn't think you would have because of that Eight of Swords. So for some of you, it's almost like the best way I can look at this is like, there's a new opportunity for you to accomplish something that you've been wanting to accomplish or accomplish something that you've wanted to have that you didn't think was possible. So that's very good, Gemini. I want to see one more thing. Boom, Gemini. There you go. Hangman, exactly what I was saying. Probably the best card that you possibly could get in a reading like this. Just intuitively, I feel that. That's exactly what you need. Hangman mode, so don't be afraid to do the active resting thing. It's like he's actively resting. He's resting. He's put himself in limbo, hangman mode, but he's like kind of also doing something. He's meditating, and so that's what I feel like you need to do here. It's almost, judgment. It's going to lead to some answers, the inner answers that you need at this time. You cannot make this up. Queen of Cups, divine counterparts, King and Queen of Cups. Could be love, could just be the answers you need. So, to me, this reading is very simple. To me, this reading is Hangman mode. Hangman mode this way is like trying too hard. He's like dancing on the pole, and it basically says, don't dance on poles, right? And it also says that, that basically he's dancing here, and it's like he's trying too hard to do something. This way, he's kind of like more waiting for the answers to come to him. He's meditating, he's thinking, he's, kind of gaining a new perspective, seeing other ways of doing things. That's exactly what you need to do. What's it going to lead to? Probably a very abundant new beginning. All this abundance. So, love it. But that's a really good reading. Thank you for being here, Gemini. I really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time, Gemini. But thank you, Gemini, and definitely enjoy your month.